Exams all finished now, Phillip?
Yeah, I've got the whole summer to do whatever I want to do now.
So you ain't got anything lined up?
Nah. I thought I'd go on holiday for once. Be selfish with my time off. Have some me time for a change. I really studied hard, you know, doll. I just feel tired now, man.
That's because you're always doing.
Yeah, that's right. But that's because I want to be one of the people that makes things happen. A famous person once said, there are three kinds of people. Those that make things happen, those that watch things happen, and those that wonder what the hell happened. There's no way I want to end up in that third category.
Always ready to drop a quote on me, aren't you? Jeez, you're getting really skinny, man.
Bloody disgrace it is. Bloody disgrace.
Yeah.
Disgrace.
Come on, let's go. They're just a bunch of old shit-stirring coward Nazi wankers pulling on it again.
Funny, innit? The landlord hasn't heard any of the stuff we've had to put up with, but he hears Sean's voice straight away. And he's out from behind that bar so quick, you thought he was running the 3 o'clock at Kempton. Maybe a woman's voice carries further than a man's. Yeah, right. Anyway, he asked us to leave. Us. As we got up to go, I noticed that there was one person, and then he turns and I see him. I see the smug smirk on his face. Charlie. I knew there was something familiar about that voice. And there's Charlie and the landlord having a good old laugh. That's one thing about the Right People's Club. You know who's in it, but you can never be sure who the card-carrying members are. You sure you don't want to live?
No problem. Need to walk off this free food, man. My belly up boss me. See you guys later.
That evening, me and the boys, Junior and Ozzy, went clubbing. Place called Uptown's Night Spot in East London. Full of South Londoners it was. So we knew loads of the people there. Do you remember I mentioned my mate Mackie? Well, he got us in free because he was playing the music. Now, I haven't mentioned Sensible Sandra's name before, but a few weeks earlier, us guys had all been down at Ozzy's. And her cronies, Ozzy's woman's friends, well, let's just say they'd had an evening of laughter at our expense. Basically, they'd taken the piss out of Junior because his girl had left him. Taking the piss out of Mackie, which everyone does anyway. Let the cat out of the bag so far as Sean, being of a paler complexion, was concerned. And then taking the piss out of me too. So I turns around to tell her, Sandra, just piss off and let me enjoy myself tonight. But when I turns round, the words just wouldn't pass my lips. Why? Because hair in dreads, sensible Sandra with her locks out, makeup on, and dressed up for a night at Uptown's Night Spot didn't look like a woman any healthy straight man with eyes in his head would tell to piss off in a nightclub when there's a lover's music playing. So instead of the words, Sandra, just piss off, coming out of my mouth, I hear the words, Sandra, just forget it. Dance? I can't believe you like all the things I like. Fraser, Star Wars, Carmen Jones, John Witherspoon.
It's a pity, as the song goes, that you're somebody else's guy. Not that you black men seem to care. Women all over the place, some of you. Well, it would be a pity if I was interested. But as you and everyone else knows, we can't stand each other. Not only do a lot of you guys think women should be doing your cooking and cleaning, you lot reckon they should go out to work all day first. And what do you lot do in return? go out on the job with some other woman, Mr. Lover Styley, while Muggin stays home doing the cooking and cleaning.
Don't look at me. Personally, I've only got one job. Sean, on the other hand, she might have more than one.
You're joking. You're not joking. You're not joking, are you? You reckon she's got another guy on the go? Perhaps you ought to get a part-time job of your own.
Part-time jobs sometimes lead to permanent jobs, don't they?
Part-time jobs sometimes lead to better positions in the company.
That night, Phillip died. I remember crying. I remember everybody crying. I remember hating. I remember everybody hating. I remember anger. I remember everybody being angry. I remember feeling helpless. Everybody felt helpless. I remember the looks of anguish on the faces of his family, the sounds of grief and the smell of death in the hospital that I couldn't get out of my nostrils for days afterwards. But most of all, I remember the look on his mother's face. It was as though Philip's features had washed over her face. I remember that look when I went to the police station to tell them what had happened earlier on that evening. Do you know what? They thought I wanted to confess. Then the bastards asked me if Phillip dealt drugs, if he was in a gang. Everything and anything but questions about the incident with the bigots in the pub, it seemed. Do you remember what I said before about the Right People's Club? You always know who's in it, but you never know who the fully paid up card carrying members are.
Good evening, people. Good evening. Thank you for being here. We all know why we are here this evening. Another young life has been extinguished, taken from us. And tonight we're here to say no more. Phillip Carmichael was murdered almost 2 weeks ago, not far from this community centre where you helped to teach our kids in the summer holidays. Beaten to death. Another young black life taken. Murdered. It leaves a bitter taste. A bitter taste. Myself and the Human Rights UK are here to support the Carmichael family in this sad time. We can't bring Phillip back, but we can offer our support to them. Offer our support in their campaign for justice. And say no more. No more. Tonight we have Mr. and Mrs. Carmichael here with their remaining family. We also have Dalton Henry, Cyan McBurney and her sister Colleen, who were all witnesses to an incident at the Flag Public House on the day Phillip was murdered. When Phillip and his friends were subjected to racist abuse of a foul nature and threatened with violence. Threatened with violence, I said. Yes. Mr. Dalton Henry here went to the police station after hearing of his friend's death and confirmed to the police the identity of one of the men in the pub who had abused them. Yet we have no news from the police of any progress in their investigations. The question I want to ask the Metropolitan Police Force today is, if this murder had been the other way around, if this had been the death of a white youngster at the hands of a black youth, if this had been a white youth murdered by black youths, would you not have arrested someone by now? Yes. The answer you are looking for is yes. We invited the 3 policemen in charge of this investigation: Chief Superintendent Falstaff, Detective Superintendent Stephen Lippery, and Detective Inspector Guppy, to attend this evening to keep you informed of their progress. This is their response. people. That's exactly how they expect us to be. You'll probably find that they've put extra police on the streets tonight, ready for a riot. But we don't want a riot. We are not going to destroy our own community. We're not going to riot. We're not even going to march through the streets of South London. No. Why? Because just like in Brixton before, there are people ready to jump on the bandwagon, ready to burn down Mr. Pattle's corner shop, or the Caribbean takeaway, or Winston's minicabs, burn down our community and leave us to clean up the mess while they saunter off to their own homes elsewhere. And believe me, the mess they leave will be our mess. We've been building for years and we're not going to let outsiders come in and wreck what we have. No. This is senseless murder, must not be followed by senseless behaviour on our part. For once we've got to think this thing through. That's why today we're proposing that instead of the usual response, that this time we do something different. What I'm proposing is that this Saturday we ask that all black people and all people irrespective of colour, sympathetic to our cause, attend a rally for justice for Phillip Carmichael. But you see, the thing is, for this to be effective, it's no good us marching through the streets of our own areas. No. What I'm proposing is that we take this to the whiter parts of town. I've already had my proposals for the route for the demo turned down by the Met Police. But if ever there was a time for civil disobedience, then this is it. I think I've said enough. I'll hand you over to Marshal Carmichael.
My mother would like to say something.
What I have to say will be brief. My son is gone. Dead. The child I once held and fed is. Mr. Paul has already told you not to tear down any shop or set fire or riot. Those are my wishes also. No rioting and no more hurting. What you must see is that if you hurt anybody, there may be another mother out there.
I've always been kind of different from the rest of the guys. Sure, I like to go to clubs. I love women. I eat rice and peas and chicken on Sunday. Yeah, I do all that stuff. And don't get me wrong, because I'm not saying that's all they do in their lives. But see, I'm still different for one thing. I ended up working as a journalist. I remember we were all at Aussie's playing dominoes and eating pizza when Mackie started going on about my girl walking out on me. I let it slip, deliberately. That Mackie was just playing around with one of his friend's women just to warn him that he was overstepping the mark, talking about my private life. Talking about things I confided in him as a friend, just for his own amusement. I don't think any of the others picked up on it though. Thankfully Dalton didn't, and thankfully Mackie saw sense and stopped playing. How did I find out about Mackie and Dalton's woman? I was down at the barber, Loopy Lenny's.
Boy, keep still. Keep your head still. Cha. Keep the picnic quiet or me I go stop cutting me here now.
You can't do that. I told you it's his first trim. He'd be alright if you weren't roughing him up so much. Anyway, you've already cut a big stripe out of his head, so you can't stop now.
What? What she say? You think you can come in and tell me what and what I can't do? It's my shop. And if you not stop fidget, me nah go cut the boy here. In fact, take the picnic and come out. Take him and go on. And you with the whole heap of razor bump them in the back of your head. How you think me can cut you here with that whole heap of bump? Next. What kind of cut you want?
fade down the sides. Short top.
You see that one there?
Yeah.
Is him did bring the flyers here. Him nasty, you know.
What do you mean?
With his friend's woman, in his friend's bed, nasty.
What did you say?
Her boyfriend was away the weekend and him never leave the whole weekend. Him said that them have sex all over the house, from bedroom to bathroom to kitchen. What a nastiness,
But he said that we were his only friends. My woman wouldn't. Would she?
And when him a chat to me, I see a whole heap of blonde hair on him shoulder. And him laugh and tell me that him just come from the woman house. Me no know how a man can do that to him friend.
Dalton's woman. That Mackie was born to stir. If there's any such thing as reincarnation, he's coming back as a spoon. Don't get me wrong, Mackie does have his good points. If he didn't, none of us would bother with him. He does act like he's got doo-doo for brains. As for Dalton, I could kind of see that there was something more going on than the apparent slagging off with sensible Sandra that evening. She especially hadn't liked it when he said he wouldn't be interested in having a relationship with a black woman again. Yeah, that made Dalton a big challenge. Anyway, Mackie said he'd leave us tickets on the door. Have you ever had your name left on the door by a friend at a party or a nightclub? Ah, I can hear you all saying now. Because each time it happened, with me it's always been more trouble than it's worth. You always seem to get that one numbskull bouncer at the door who either can't be bothered to check if he should let you into the dance or swears blind that you never heard of the person who's left your name on the door. In this case, the bouncer, Mr. Baldy I'll call him, but not to his face, was the fattest, tallest, widest, blackest. You get the picture? The man was big. Sound familiar to you? He should do, because I reckon he must have relatives who look like him working as bouncers in nightclubs all over the bloody country.
Look, I'm playing music here tonight, right? And this lot of complimentary tickets. Their names are on the door. I agreed it with Mr. Uptowns himself, the manager. You get me? Don't you recognise me from last week? Damn, I did the music here last week. Don't you recognise me? What the hell? Look, just get someone with a friggin' brain now. Get your boss. Built like a shithouse, smell like a shithouse. Shit for brains.
Oi, Big Mackie, you don't look so big standing next to big old Mr. Bouncer Man there.
Look, I was going to write an article in the paper about this club. There you are, looking like you're going to spill blood, the blood of my friend. And here I am at Uptown's night spot to write an article about the club. God knows what I'm going to write now, that me and my friends can't even get into the place. On top of which, it looks as though I'm going to be spending the rest of the evening visiting one of my friends in the local hospital.
Got you in free, lads. Which one of you's going to buy me a drink then?
Anyway, I don't know if any of the others told you, but Ozzy and Miss Argumentative have managed to make up and argue again in the 2 weeks that passed since the Domino and Pizza night at their place. As usual, once again, they weren't talking. In fact, Mackie whispered in my ear later on that they'll actually split up. So, as I was saying, there we all were. Dalton, whose woman was cheating on him. Ozzy, whose woman never seemed to be talking to him for longer than it took to get 2 sentences out of her mouth. Mackie, who had been doing the nasty with Dalton's woman, and me, Junior, who no longer had a woman to do the nasty with.
Hold on, ain't that Mariana, half idiot's cousin?
No, you're joking. Well, if she's from the family, she's already got a psychiatrist then. And then Marcia got the phone call and we all went to the hospital. Phillip died.
Does it look like in heaven? Is it peaceful and free like they say? Does the sun shine bright forever? Have your fear and your pain gone away? 'Cause here on earth it feels like everything good is missing since you left. And here on earth everything is different. There is an emptiness. Oh, I hope you're dancing in the sky. And I hope you're singing with the angels choir. And I hope the angels know what they have. I bet it's so nice up in heaven since you arrived. Tell me, what do you do up in heaven? Are your days filled with love and light? Is there music? Is there art and invention? Tell me, are you happy and more alive? 'Cause here on earth it feels like everything good is missing. Tell me, what does it look like in heaven? Is it peaceful and free like they say? Does the sun shine bright forever? Have your fear and your pain gone away? 'Cause here on earth it feels like everything good is missing since you left. And here on earth everything is different. There is an emptiness. Oh, I hope you're dancing in the sky. And I hope you're singing with the angels choir. And I hope the angels know what they have. I bet it's so nice up in heaven since you arrived. Tell me, what do you do up in heaven? Are your days filled with love and light? Is there music? Is there art and invention? Tell me, are you happy and more